is that on Twitter, someone tweets out now it's official, Mbappe is who takes the pens at PSG. Obviously, this is something contractual because there's no club in the world that as Neymar would he be second choice pen taker? None. It looks like because of the contract, Mbappe is the owner of PSG. Of course, we see thousands of tweets like this. Why it's significant is that Neymar liked that tweet. Jules will be desperate to talk to you about this. What's the reaction been in France?
Yeah, pretty extraordinary, really. I mean, PSG fans have looked away with a lot of interest because the season has started so well, and we're only 2 weeks in the Ligue 1 campaign, and already there is controversy and drama, which is so PSG, is so PSG-esque. Really, I think what's the most interesting, and I wrote about it for the website, which is going to be published tomorrow, is that, remember, there was a penalty gate 4 years ago between Edinson Cavani and Neymar, and at the time, Unai Emery didn't want to intervene, neither were the club really or the sporting director at the time. This time it was very different. First, Sergio Ramos, straight after the game on Saturday, got the two players together, spoke to them in the dressing room to say, hey, let's forget about the tension, let's forget what happened on the pitch today. And then on Sunday, the next day, Luis Campos, the new sporting director, also had a word with both Neymar and Mbappe. And Campos is probably the one at the club who knows Mbappe the most, or certainly is the closest to Mbappe, because we know, because Mbappe brought him in at the club as a new sporting director and got Leonardo sacked. However, what that means as well is that Campos can see Mbappe and talk to him, maybe like no one else before, like no other people before, apart from maybe Kylian Mbappe's dad and I guess Didier Deschamps. And Campos sat him down and said, listen, this is not okay. This is not good. What happened on Saturday against Montpellier at the Parc des Princes in front of all the cameras, everybody was watching. This is not good. You need to sort that out. And he didn't just mention the penalties. He also mentioned that incident where Mbappe, just before the break, stops running and throws his arms in the air because Vitinha didn't pass the ball to him and instead chose to put the ball onto the right-hand side to Messi. So I think it was very interesting to see Campos telling off Mbappe for the attitude that he had on Saturday.
What's happened, Jules? Because when he made that move from Monaco, the rhetoric was, he's just a mature kid, he's got good people around him, he's not going to be distracted by other things. Yet what we've seen, and kind of epitomised by this game, is someone whose maybe ego has got away with it?
Yeah, maybe. He's become a superstar, that's for sure, which he wasn't really when he signed in that summer 2017, only a little bit after Neymar, or rather the club only a few days after Neymar. And at the beginning, he was very much like, I'm here to serve Neymar, he's the big star, he's the boss here, and I'm just here to help him. Things have changed in 5 years, and things have changed even more since that contract that PSG gave to Mbappe a few months ago now, where he has extended powers at the club, where he's consulted for a lot of decisions that the club has taken already, he's taking right now and will be taking in the future. And I think that has maybe sort of unbalanced the dressing room in a way. I think I was told that Neymar was very surprised by that, with the powers that Mbappe has now. I was also told that Mbappe, for example, didn't really appreciate last season and the season before that Neymar took so many liberties in terms of timekeeping and discipline and attitude as well. So they used to be friends and really close, and really in the last 2 seasons they drifted away from each other. The arrival of Messi, I think, became that sort of the bromance with Neymar was reunited. The bromance between Hakimi and Mbappe kind of was created as well when Hakimi joined the club. So now they're further away from where they used to be as teammates and friends, and that's also maybe explains what happened on Saturday.
I mean, there's no doubt. We talked about it the other day. The penalty stuff is children-like, but the throwing the arms up and literally turning the opposite way is just, it's out of order. But he is a superstar, and his ego at the moment is on a runaway train. And I don't know when that train's going to stop. Might stop when he gets to Real Madrid, might not. I don't know. But whether they have success or not, and whether they bring new people in or not, and whether they try and fight these things or not, at the end of the day, at Paris Saint-Germain, the tail is wagging the dog.
Right.
And that's been going on for quite some time. That is difficult to stop.
What do you make of it, Needham?
To be fair, the way Craig just described it there, I think it sums it up perfectly. The tail is wagging the dog. And it is crazy to see the players have that sort of leverage in a place where, that stuff you did in terms of that counter-attack and walking off, like that is objectively a disgrace. You don't want somebody in your team doing anything like that. But then which other players on the field have got the ability to be able to go up to him and he actually listen? Because obviously, you know, he's the big superstar now and he has the powers which come from that contract. So what's the real value in coming to say to him, could you please do something else? Or could you please just do the right thing? You know, it's a shame that it's reached this sort of point because, you know, a lot of people do pay attention to him since he is a global superstar and they want to see his skills and all this. But he's also just, you know, it's bad professionalism to be arguing with teammates about penalties, to be deciding that you decide that you don't want to work anymore. And that's just accepted. I think it kind of misses the point. So for somebody with so much talent, you know, it's a shame that this is a situation it's in. And ultimately, you know, if they are to be successful in the way that they want to be, they do need him to be playing well and need him to be working hard for the team, because at some point they'll come up against a team which has stars in it, which has that sort of work ethic and everybody's on board. And, you know, ultimately they might end up coming short like they have done in seasons gone by.
You take a look at the penalty situation then, Jules. Statistically, Neymar and Sergio Ramos are better than Mbappe. What happens?
That's interesting. I mean, Galtier decided, and we will never know really. I mean, maybe one day we will know. Someone will say if Galtier has decided to pick Kylian as the number one penalty taker because he believed that he's better, even if the stats, as we saw, don't show it, but that he's better than Sergio Ramos and Neymar, or if he was told by the club, hey, you know, Mbappe wants to take penalties, so you have to name him as the number one penalty taker. We will see. We will see what happens the next time they've got a pen. I think the best story that I was told about this all is that Neymar said to Luis Campos that he was confused. But basically, Mbappe is the number one penalty taker. Neymar is the number two, which means that Neymar will take a penalty if one, the foul is committed on Mbappe, or if Mbappe is not on the pitch anymore. So when that second penalty happened against Montpellier on Saturday, Neymar took the ball, but Mbappe was still there, and the foul was not on Mbappe, it was a handball in the box. So really, Neymar knew that Kylian, even if he missed the first one, should have taken that one. And yeah, he said to Campos, I was confused because I thought, well, because he missed the first one, now it's the second one, it has to be the second penalty taker who takes the second one because the first penalty taker missed the first one. Which is like, come on, don't BS us. He knew exactly what he was doing. I think he wanted to make a statement in a way saying like, okay, maybe you're the number one penalty taker, but look, this is what I can do. I can take the ball in front of everybody here, and you can ask for the ball, and I won't give it to you, and now I'm going to score because this is what I do. I score penalties more than you. And again, I think he is a bit of a like screw playground stuff, but in a way, I can understand why Neymar did it.
It's all fun and games now, right? Early in the season, started well, going to dominate Ligue 1 again, probably. It's all fun and games at the moment, that's fine. What if Mbappe goes through the season, misses another couple, but throws the tantrum, I'm still the number one, and Galtier doesn't change it. And then they get to the Champions League. Might be a semi-final. Might be a knockout. Might be the final. Shouldn't you have the guy that's giving you more of a guarantee, not a guarantee, but more of a guarantee in that position over the ego who may, to say Mbappe might miss 2 or 3 penalties during the year and stipulate through his strength, I want to take it. If we're in the final, I want to take it. That's fine. But that's not putting your best foot forward to win the game. That's putting your best foot forward to suit you. That's when it could become a problem in that competition, if indeed it ever went to penalties.
What's telling, Shay?
Might not, though.
You can't imagine this ever happening, Real Madrid, Liverpool,
anywhere else,
Manchester City, in today's current environment.
No, you can't. And when we were discussing on the weekend, I said, I think one of the worst things to happen to Mbappe is not to go to Real Madrid, where the club is the star, and you have to fit in. You have to fit into who that club is, as opposed to you being everything that the club kind of revolves around. And the issue for PSG, and it will continue, and why they cannot spend their way out of their issues, is the genie's out of the bottle. And what we are seeing, it's very hard to put that genie back in. You sign Neymar, you allow him all sorts of liberties that he would get nowhere else, that nobody else in football, as far as I am aware of, was getting. Mbappe sees that, and now that he's the star of the club, he assumes that exact same position, that he can take liberties in the way that Neymar was. Now, the only way for PSG to somehow move past this is wholesale changes. And because it's not just about shifting Neymar and Mbappe, because somebody else who's seen this going on for the last few years, they're going to assume that same position. And PSG's problems are all their own making and playing out right in front of our very eyes now.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.